Hello, one. Hello, all. Welcome to this edition of Show Business. We're talking about the weekend, the August 19th to the 21st. With me, as always, is Peter, Peter the Movie Guy. Peter, say hello.
Hey, everybody.
Not going to laugh this time.
Nope.
2016 is really starting to show itself.
It's a weird freaking year for movies.
It's really like weird, bad. I mean, I guess the slight good news in this situation is Suicide Squad managed to maintain in first.
Yeah.
But 21 million is just that's not exciting.
No, not its third week.
Yeah.
But you could say, like, you still get to put in the record books that, hey, Suicide Squad was the #1 movie 3 weeks in a row.
Yep. Yep.
And, like, does it count that yeah, they weren't going against that much good stuff? No, because, like, it doesn't matter if you win the gold medal because the other guy fell. You still won the gold medal, and that's in the history books.
Right.
So
right.
3 weekends in a row, Suicide Squad got #1. So
what's even more weird is the fact that War Dogs. There's two here. War Dogs and Ben-Hur were supposed to kind of be, I mean, not a big deal, but a decent deal.
Yeah.
And War Dogs opens up in third, and Ben-Hur 6th place. Like, what? Maybe if anything, well, first of all, it seems clear that the North American public is kind of done with the movies already.
Yeah.
Second, maybe this will start showing people you can't go up against two movies. Like, you just can't schedule 4 movies, 3 movies the same weekend and not take a hit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. The War Dogs thing kind of shocked me because every time I watched television, there was an ad for it. 2 weeks leading up to it.
Yeah, there's a preview. I saw multiple. Like, I saw trailers 6 months ago for it, and thinking that looks good. I want to see that movie. Now, I didn't get to see it, but that's purely financial because I just can't afford to go see movies right now. But
right.
If I had the money, I definitely would have gone to see it this weekend. But I'm shocked that it did that low. Like, I think I put it at #1 because I just assumed it would make 25 million. Like, I didn't think it was going to make 50 million or anything like that. But I was like, it'll make 25. And by that point, again, Suicide Squad would be under 25. So I'm like, that's going to go there. And, but wow, that's to come in third.
Yeah. For Sausage Party, what's funny is Sausage Party ended up being the R-rated comedy that people preferred to go see.
Yeah.
And that's kind of shocking.
Yeah. It has gotten really good word of mouth. Like, everyone.
Sausage Party?
Yeah, everyone that I've talked to that has seen it has said, "Oh, it was really funny." It's like.
See, I wouldn't say it's really funny. I would say it's a really big movie. There's some really big things going on there with metaphors to religion and things like that.
Yeah.
Are you good? I hear something.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
So yeah, I mean, it's funny, but it's got some really there's some satire there for religion and just life in general. It's a giant metaphor. But Ben-Hur, that was the biggest budgeted movie that was released. 100 million was in the budget. Does this scare anybody? I mean, 11 million.
11 million for a $100 million movie.
6th place too.
Yeah, 6th place. Didn't even break top 5 in a weekend that was possibly one of the weakest weekends of the year.
I could check that actually. Probably of the summer at the very least.
Yeah, I think it's probably the weakest movie weekend of the summer.
On it.
You have a movie that's been out for 3 weeks. You have a couple movies that have been out for 2 weeks. So
Yeah. Uh, the weakest summer, the weakest summer weekend by 14 million.
wow. Hold on, I got people talking here. I'll give you
Okay.
1 minute.
All right. So June June 3rd through 5th,
There we
Teenage
go.
Mutant Ninja Turtles
Okay.
opened to 35 million, and that was the lowest summer weekend before this weekend.
Before this weekend. Yeah.
35 million, and June 3rd still, like, people are still in school, so
Yeah.
uh after that, The Conjuring was 40 the next week. That's even still, that's 19 million.
Yeah.
105, 72, 41, which is repeat Dory. 104, 50, 59, 59, 133, 43,
Mm.
20.8.
So yeah. What a weird weekend. Like Ben-Hur, I don't know. It's for them to release that in the weakest weekend of the freaking summer and get like 11, is it 11 million brought in?
Yeah, yeah.
Or yeah, it's just for a $100,000, like 100 or $100 million movie. Um, there's
It's not
like
going to make its money back. Well,
I'm like I don't know how it will do in China.
mm,
It
mm,
it's because um like it's got a bunch of religious stuff in it.
right, right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, sure, it's an action movie on that's what they're trying to sell it as, but it's yeah. I don't know how it's going to do worldwide comparatively.
See,
And I don't know.
so I would think that if you're going to have a movie that is at least 100 million, and it's not a Marvel, Star
Mhm.
Wars, or Disney movie, you've got to have a name.
Yeah,
And I'm sorry, Morgan Freeman doesn't count as a name here.
no, because he's not the star of the film, and
Right.
yeah,
Toby Kebbell and
John Huston.
Johnny Houston. I'm sorry. See, that shows how much I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
them. It,
Uh,
it's not good enough.
other than I'll be honest, other than Boardwalk Empire, which John Huston's in as one
You
of the
have half
best.
of his face too.
Yeah, in Boardwalk Empire, he's great. Like if you haven't seen Boardwalk Empire, I haven't finished it yet, but it's a freaking really good show. At least the first 3 seasons were. And he is one of my favorite characters. Like John Huston is just like he just plays this guy who's damaged but really awesome
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. Other than that, I didn't know him from anything, and it took me a minute to figure out where I knew him. I was like, this guy looks a little, and then I'm like, oh yeah, because he's missing half his face in Boardwalk Empire. So I, why would you bank like he's a good actor? Why would you put $100 million movie on his shoulders or Toby
Exactly.
Kebbell's shoulders?
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
yes, you have Morgan Freeman, but Morgan Freeman is not the star. And like, why would you risk 100 million on that? I don't get it.
See, I feel like you're trying to go on the name of the 59 Classic,
Yeah,
but even that had Charlton Heston, which back then he was a big
he
deal.
was a
So,
big star. Like,
uh,
if they had done Ben-Hur starring
The Rock,
Tom Cruise
Tom
or The
Cruise, right?
Rock, or yeah, The Rock, Tom Cruise, Vin Diesel, like I could
Yeah.
see the $100 million price tag,
Mark
right?
Wahlberg, maybe.
Mark, even him, I could see
Mm.
that, right? Like, there's like name any of the big good action actors right now. You could totally, you could justify it. But John Huston, like I said, good actor, $100 million. And here's the thing: it's a remake of a movie that a lot of people love. So you have like I've mentioned before, my daughter saw the trailer. We showed them Ben Hur a couple months ago,
Hmm.
and then I showed her the trailer for the new one, and she literally just went, "That looks like an abomination," and that's a 12-year-old saying that. Right? And she'd just seen the movie, like so, like she had just seen the movie, right? So take the people who've loved the movie for years,
Right. Right.
And then are they going to want to see it? No. So you have all the, and it's like, it's not like a small movie. Ben-Hur is being seen by a lot of people. So you're going to get most of the people who've seen the original go, nah, I don't need to see a remake. I'm fine. And then you're going to get the teenagers who have no clue there was a Ben-Hur movie in the beginning anyways.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to look at it and go, ah, it's like a swords and sandals thing. Okay. And some of them will think it looks cool. And most of them will go, nah, who the heck's John Huston? I don't know who that is.
See, I'm thinking we're gonna have to wait another month or so. But if Magnificent Seven doesn't open up to at least 35 million,
That has to.
then my new opinion is people don't care about swords and sandals, and they don't care about westerns.
Yeah.
Like there's these new things that we're slowly getting slapped in the face with that modern North American theater goers just they don't have staying power. They go within the first 2 weeks and then that's it.
And then they're gone.
And like that's I don't know what else. Their tastes are way different. Because there's no real like thriller this summer, and I don't mean like a horror. There's no, like who done it cop chase.
There's no fugitive this summer. There's no
right.
Like there's nothing that has big name stars that grips you with its story, like alone. So, like here's the difference with Magnificent Seven. I'd say, what they're doing from the look of it is they're doing an action movie that is a Western. So
and you have some star power.
And you have star power. Right? So it's like compared to like Unforgiven. That was a Western that had some action in it.
Mm-hmm.
This is an action movie that's set in the West. Right? So it's like, it is still a Western, don't get me wrong, but it's just at its core, if you were to say, what is it? It's an action movie with stars. You got Denzel, you got Chris Pratt, you got Ethan Hawke. It's so it has star power, it has action. Anton Fuqua's like a director that's done a fair amount of good movies that are action movies. He knows what he's doing. So, but yeah, if it dies, then it's like, listen, as much as I love Westerns, and I freaking love Westerns, I'm like, let's give it some time. Maybe, it's like or make like small independent ones. Cause like, again, Bone Tomahawk had a very small budget, freaking amazing Western. And like, yeah, you'll get to it sooner. You got to watch that movie.
I know. I keep hearing I'm going to have to.
It's good. But hold up. Oh, there's a scene that's just like, you'll know it when you see it and you're like, oh, that's wrong.
Okay.
It's just near the end.
I'm going to have to try to make a way to see it sometime in the next 5 days, I think. Before the weekend's over, I'm going to try to watch it.
Yeah, it's very good.
I think it slipped out of my head. Damn it. What was your next point? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, what did we do this weekend? I know we were talking about the fact that this weekend was messed up.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I went perfect last week, and the only way to match going perfect is to go empty.
Is to go zero.
Yeah, I had. Oh no, I didn't have anything. Ben-Hur, Peter got saved by Ben-Hur.
By Ben-Hur sucking.
Yeah, as of Monday morning, Ben-Hur was in 5th place, and they adjusted the estimate, and the actual actually pushed Pete's Dragons up. So Peter has 2. I have 0. Rough week.
Kubo didn't do that well either. Kubo made 12 million, and it cost 60 million to make. I was looking
from 3 to 7. I think there's like 1.6 million that separates them
between the gap. Yeah, so they didn't like that. Had a pretty bad opening, I'd say, considering it made 12, but it cost 60 to make.
Yeah, you know what? There's things that work that appear to work this summer, and it's horror, it's family movies, and it's like the random comedies. Yeah. But you can't just stack family movies. Did I say family movies? Family movies too. They're unstoppable. You can't just stack family movies because it works. Like
Well, Ice Age family movie
Oh
got
yeah,
killed,
they
right? Like
exactly.
so, like it's been a very strong family movie summer, right? So and they've been one after the other, and so like you've had the Finding Dory, and then like 3 weeks later you had the Secret Life of Pets, and then so it's like
Yeah,
and like that thing is still in the I think in the top 10. I think.
Pets.
Um, or did
Yep,
it find?
nine,
Yeah,
number
9.
nine.
So it's still in the top 10. It's like it's been out for over a month and a bit, I think. So
Hmm.
that's sticking around. Dory's stuck around forever. Um, and again, family movies like superhero movies and stuff like Civil War, Jungle Book, that stuck around forever.
Yeah,
So family movies have kind of like run the summer, and you've had some really great movies that have gone unnoticed and made very little bank.
it's funny. It's family movie, family movie, family movie, sequel, and the sequels only last 1 week. Conjuring 2, Ninja Turtles 2,
Yeah,
Star Trek Beyond, Jason Bourne, and then just Suicide Squad has been holding it ever since. But
yeah.
I think it's a shame that Star Trek Beyond just couldn't hang on. It's currently at 147 domestic, 231 total.
So it made
Uh,
its money back, but
no,
compared to
oh yeah,
com-
total. Yeah, it made its
yeah,
money
in
back.
total, it made its money back. But compared to what the other two made, um,
Yeah,
there was a fairly big drop off.
yeah. What is it compared to the other right now in the reboot series, which makes of three
Yeah,
movies, it's currently
yeah. I don't.
third.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. I definitely wouldn't. Can't compare it to the other Star Trek movies. But it has definitely dropped off from the first two.
yeah, and the first two, they both. I'm listening. 250 and 228. It's not a big deal, but they both made at least 200. I don't think Beyond's
Yeah,
going to crack 200.
no, not domestically. I don't think it will.
And uh, I'm like I really really don't want to believe this, but it's starting to feel that this is true. That uh, you know, movies aren't they're not what they used to be. They're well, it's like I said, people go the first week or two, and then that's it.
Unless it's a family movie. That's the only ones that,
Right,
and that's
right.
because you know what? It doesn't matter if if you've seen the family movie already and there's nothing else out that you want to see. Go see it again because your kids will want to see it again, and
Right.
it's like oh again it's like oh fine it's a way to entertain your kids for the night
If
and
you're
stuff like that.
13 or under, movies are still kind of okay for you, but
Yeah,
teenagers, young adults, adults, movies aren't. They're not what they used to be. They're
no,
not the number one choice for a night out. I would think
no,
anymore.
they're not
That's
there. Well, they're probably the number one choice for a night out, but can movies compete with YouTube? Is
yes,
the
they
question, right?
should. They
Yeah,
should.
but listen, I have two daughters. Both of them watch YouTube all freaking day. Like they have the people they like. They watch tons and tons of videos, and it's like it's having trouble competing with that for teenagers. For kids, yeah, still it's fine, but it's like there are a lot of teenagers out there who will be like, yeah, you know what? I want to see that movie. I'll torrent it. I'll try and find it online somewhere, and I'll watch it on my computer in my room. Compared to I want to go sit like the movie going experience is not a thing that teenagers care about in the same way. What are you laughing at?
Take a shot. Sorry. I was like,
I didn't say it because I'm giving you
you
guys a chance to just do it.
you made a reference.
I know. I didn't want to say it. I was giving you the chance to
I was smiling, and
yeah,
just so you know, if there's two of us, the people can't see me.
yeah.
So I was smiling
That's
and
true.
trying to get it out of my system, but you brought it up,
Yeah.
so now they can see my face.
Yes.
So
CP. If
I
you
was
don't
trying to
know,
flush it out.
most of the people probably know, but if you don't, I mention my daughters in particular a lot because they watch a lot of movies with me. And it's become a drinking game whenever I'm on with CP and the guys. That if I mention them, you take a shot.
And now it's like Peterception because you're mentioning
Yes,
yourself talking
I'm
about
mentioning about
mentally.
myself talking, and if I mention going to a movie with my mother, drink the whole fucking bottle. That's, just down it. I pray you don't get alcohol poisoning. Um, so
Well, yeah, young adults. There's like 18 through 24-year-olds. I would think aren't on YouTube as much.
no, they're looking to date, right? Like so it's different, right? So dating, like throwing it to dates and stuff, or going out socially. Yeah, movies are still there, but if for a night in by yourselves or just hanging with your buddies, quite often, like we've talked about the fact that like it's a different world, right? So it's like the digital age of, oh, I can just get that online.
Yeah,
Going to the theater, if you're 15 and you say, oh, you can go to the theater or you can just stay in your room and you can get the same movie and find it and watch it on your laptop. Most, like, it's not, the theater going experience isn't something that teenagers care about in and of itself.
it's
It's
a shame because some
it,
some theater companies have made an effort.
yeah,
Like they have these recliner places, they have these distinct food choices, they have this Dolby Atmos thing where literally the sound is as close to perfect as I've heard, because
yeah,
it's like 80 speakers or something that like they could pinpoint exactly where a sound would come
yeah.
from. Like if a rain drops behind your head, they know exactly where to put it.
They're the way they're targeting teens right now is with the 4D.
Right, the
Um,
chairs that move and
the
shit too,
chairs that
right?
move. There's like, I'm trying to think. I saw a whole thing on it while I was waiting for my movie to start the other week, and they're like, it takes them 3 weeks to program the theater for the
That's awesome.
movie, and it has, I think, 80 different things it can do. So if it's snowing in the movie, it drops this stuff that simulates snow. If it's water in the movie, you'll literally get a little wet from a spray. Air will blow
Oh,
in your face. It'll tilt. If it's smell in the movie, it'll try and pump the smell into the theater. It has all these variables. I mean, well, and your chair moves around, like
hmm,
so it's like you're on a ride. Um, and that's where I think they're like, oh, we'll get the teenagers back. Like, it's the thing is, to me, it's like, if your movies, if you need that to watch a movie, that's sad. It's like, oh, it's the same thing with 3D, and it's in 3D, obviously. It's like, but it's one of those things where it's like that. They're like, this is the future of movies, and I'm like, that's sad if that's the future of movies. It's like, because that's the future of maybe of big blockbusters. There's no way you're going to watch Casablanca in a theater where your chair moves. It's just like, what's the point? I'm gonna go watch like Friends with Benefits in the theater where they can throw water at me, and so it's just, we're bad moms. Like, thinking of that, it's like you'll get a real mom to come and wave a finger in her face. I don't know, like, it's just, but that's where they think they're going. They're like, technology is going to save the movie going experience and make people want to go to theaters. But
yeah. Like I said, the theaters, they're making some sort of effort.
oh yeah, they're
Um,
desperate to get the teens in there.
and I think they need, yeah, they need to come together because theater chains, as many screens as they have, they're not putting stuff on like Green Room. They're not putting stuff on like Swiss Army Man. I get it. There's this high rollover tendency with everything, but people, word of mouth drives those movies, and something like Green Room, you need like 4 or 5 weeks for it to get some steam. And I think if the theater chains aren't going to pump them out, then we need to have this thing where they have that the guy from Facebook's trying to get the DVR, the VOD type setup where
Yeah,
day and date release, you can watch it at home. $40. I'm not entirely against that if it means, first of all, I need to own it. like $40, like you got to give me something. I
Yeah.
read somewhere that they were trying to do it where I think it was $50 and you get 2 free tickets to the theater, which I guess is the only reason why theater chains would be up for it, because why
Yeah.
would they just willingly say, yeah, okay, you could show the movies that we would have at somebody's house? Like,
Yeah. I don't know. I think like if they made it a reasonable price and didn't expect you to buy it from them, like so if you were to say, hey, you can watch the new movie you want to watch $30 at your house,
mhm,
um, on your TV and all that kind of stuff. Like, sure, if you choose to, you're losing the big theater experience,
mhm.
but you have a chance to watch it at home, which people like doing. So, uh, saying here, okay, $30, you can watch Captain America: Civil War the day it comes out in theaters. You can watch it at home instead. But you have it. I
That would
think
have
they
to be a
would.
rental. That would
I
have to
think.
be.
Well, that's the thing. I think it would have to be like the same thing that they do with iTunes,
The
where it's
VOD
like,
48 hours or whatever.
yeah, you get like 24 hours to watch it. You can watch it
Mhm.
10 times in that 24 hours if you choose to,
Yeah,
but they're like, and make it $30 or whatever. You like if you want to invite 10 friends over, there's nothing they can do about that, right? You can charge
right,
everyone five
right.
bucks and you could make money off the crap. It's like, it's like, hey guys, want to come over to $5 at my house? I'll buy chips, and
I do
before you
not
know it,
condone
you
that.
made $10 off the night when it's like, but I'm not suggesting to do that, but
Right. I
but
also do not condone such
but
behavior.
that's like realistically for if me and my wife want to go out and see a movie, you don't get to take a shot from my wife, by the way. Just in case you're like, oh no, she doesn't count. If we wanted to go see a movie and we were gonna go see The Nice Guys, um, and we went opening night to see The Nice Guys, and we bought. I think I got a small popcorn and a drink. That came over $30 for that,
Yeah,
right? So if they would have said, "Hey, you can see it at home for $30," there's a good chance I might have gone, "Okay." Same time. It's like because I can make popcorn.
yeah. You factor gas and things like that. You know
Yeah,
what? You can go to the movies and go to the theater. Excuse me, go out to dinner and go to the theater and spend somewhere near $150,
easily.
or
Yeah,
you can go to the grocery store, get food for the night, or have like pizza
yeah,
delivered or something like that.
yeah,
Get the expensive rental for the night and still probably pay less than 50.
yeah.
So, you know, uh,
And like, I'd be interesting to see. I think that's as much as I love the theater going experience, which I do. I think that's where it's headed. Um,
yeah,
Sooner or later, like there'll still be like I don't think we'll ever come to a time. I hope we don't ever come to a time when there are no movie theaters. But I
yeah,
think we will come to a time when some of these megaplexes are gone, and it'll be like, oh, we have 4 screens, and it's for these movies, like, and there'll be like indie movie theaters and stuff like
mm,
that, like that only play indies, and they'll be the ones that do like the big things that are coming out, and they're only going to be in the theater for a couple weeks and stuff, and then again, if you want to watch it by that point and you don't want to go out and you pay $30, you get to watch it at home, and you get it for 24 hours and you watch it. I don't know. So
all right. So Jim brought up a unique segment, or something that I looked into, and it's kind of unique since I looked into it. He says, "I wonder how much money Denzel Washington films have grossed."
hmm
So I went and checked, and
okay.
it's kind of surprising, and I don't think it bodes well for Magnificent Seven.
Seven.
Although you have to remember that who else is in it? What's his name?
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks is in
Oh no.
Magnificent
Oh, you
Seven.
mean Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. I was gonna say Chris Pine. I know
No,
it's
Chris
Chris
Pratt.
P. So there's that. But the highest grossing Denzel Washington film is American Gangster at 130 million.
Okay.
The next highest is 126. That's Safe House. Remember
Wow,
the
Safe House made 126 million.
I know. Remember the Titans 115, the Equalizer 101, and the Pelican Brief 100. Although I think that's 1993 100, so that
Yeah,
that could be the big
I
one.
think I think like the Safe House and Equalizer are probably a good estimation of what he's going to bring in. Just him by himself. Like he so Denzel, if you want to make a movie, Denzel will make you roughly 80 to 120 between that thousand at the or a million at the box office for his name, as long as it's a good movie, like a decent movie.
So wait, for the record, the lifetime gross. This is 43 films listed, 43 Denzel films listed. The lifetime gross is 2,236,830,000. Those aren't really good numbers.
Those
Uh,
are or aren't.
aren't only 5 movies have made at least 100 million, and none of them have made more than 130.2.
Hmm.
So he's not like he's a hell of an actor.
Yeah.
He's not a box office draw.
Well, yeah, I don't think he's a box office draw the same way. I don't know who would be a bigger box office draw. Um,
Pratt might. I mean,
Pratt right now might
modern. Yeah,
be.
right.
I don't know if overall he would be, but you get a different audience with Pratt that you get with Denzel, right? So having both of them in this movie is incredibly smart because you're going to get the Denzel crowd, which are people more our age that aren't like I like Chris Pratt. Don't worry, I think he's really funny. I think he's a good actor. But the people who've watched Denzel movies for years, that's why he's the main character, right? And then you're going to get the Chris Pratt, all his fans that have come with Guardians of the Galaxy and all whatever show he did because I don't remember what it was called. Um, but
I have. Yeah, I don't know
what
either.
I don't know what it's is it Community
Community,
or is
yes,
it
Community.
no? Is it or
Yeah,
is it the other one? I don't know. I didn't
it is
watch.
Community.
I have never watched him on TV, so I don't know what show he did. I just know he's a talented, funny guy. Um, so you're getting all his demographic with that. So I think the two of them together as being the two main stars is very smart casting. Um, I don't
I
know. I'm
gotta
hoping it makes good money.
I gotta cut you off, Peter. They're
Okay.
they're they're literally asking each movie, so just bear with me a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna go down all
Oh,
of
you're
them
gonna go down the list.
because I just answered 3 questions.
Okay.
So
Go.
I was at Pelican Brief 100. This is top to bottom, mind you.
Okay.
Next is Book of Eli at 94.8.
Like that movie.
Next is Flight 93.7. Crimson Tide 91. Inside Man 88. Unstoppable 81. Man on Fire 77. Philadelphia 77. Man on Fire 77.9. Philadelphia 77.4. Training Day 76. Man, that's low.
That's so low.
Yeah. Even for 2001, that
That's
what
so
best case
low.
is
Why the heck?
150? I don't know.
Why the heck?
I don't know. Two Guns 75. John Q 71. Bone Collector 66. Manchurian Candidate 65.9. Taking Pelham 123 65.4. Deja Vu 64. Courage Under Fire 59. Hurricane 50. Man. Malcolm X 48.16. Preacher's Wife 48.10. Out of Time 41. The Siege 40. The Great Debaters 30. Glory 26. That's 1989 though.
Whoa.
Fallen 25. Virtuosity 24. Much Ado About Nothing 22. A Soldier Story 21.8. Ricochet 21.7. He Got Game 21.5. Antoine Fisher 21. Mo Better Blues 16.15. Devil in a Blue Dress 16.14. Carbon Copy 9.5. 81.
I've never heard of that one.
1981. Yeah, that must be his first movie. Mississippi Masalsa 7.3. Cry Freedom 5.8. The Mighty Quinn 4.5. Heart Condition 4. Power 3.8. And for Queen and Country 191,000.
So obviously, if you notice the trend there, he has gone up quite a bit. It's like compared to what he's making recently, usually come close to around 100 million, if not breaking 100
I'll
million.
tell you,
Even things like what's it called, Safe House, which wasn't a really great movie. It was kind of boring and like Two Guns was fun. So I think you said that made like 60 or
who what?
Two Guns. What did you say that made?
75.6.
Okay, so it's like I I think like if it doesn't break 100, I'd be shocked with him and Chris Pratt together. I'd be
Uh,
shocked. Like,
and
yeah,
here, I'm a little bit ahead of you here.
yeah.
Here's some fun stuff. So Denzel was 2.2 billion in 43 movies. Chris Pratt is 1.4, just under 1.5 billion in 12 movies.
It's the movies he's picked though, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Chris Pratt, Jurassic World is 652
yeah.
million. Guardians of the Galaxy 333 million. Lego Movie 257.7. And then Moneyball 75, Bride
So
Wars 58, Delivery Man 30, 5
he was in Moneyball.
Yeah, he's the guy who hits the home run.
Oh, okay. I need to watch Moneyball again. Again, I didn't really know Chris Pratt that well until like 2 years ago, and so and I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah, no.
watched. So I had no clue he was in Moneyball. It's on my list to watch. So with my daughters, if you're thirsty. Um,
Oh, the
but
damn chat.
but yeah, a lot of those movies you mentioned though with him, he's not the main star.
Chris Pratt. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Well, those top
Whereas
three
in
are.
yeah, but like, well, he's co-stars as the main guy. Like he's the main guy in Jurassic World. Um, Screen time, I think he probably gets as much as Bryce Dallas Howard. So um, the dinosaurs get way more. Star Lord, he's the main guy, but it's a team film, so he's not on the screen the whole time. It's like it's not all about him. Just um, and Lego Movie. Who do you play in Lego Movie?
He's the
Oh,
voice. He's the
was the
voice
main
of
guy,
the
right?
main guy. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he was the main guy in that one. So like a lot, it's the choice of movies partially. Those three movies, right? Like Denzel doesn't necessarily care about being in blockbusters.
Right.
And so Denzel cares about being in movies that he thinks are good and that like deserve what he wants to do. Whereas in Chris Pratt is definitely kind of he's keyed into being in some blockbusters and like Guardians of the Galaxy was what it was. Like it's like saying okay, well, we're going to throw Denzel into a Marvel movie. Well, automatically he then gets like $1 billion on his thing.
All right.
So it's like, but meanwhile he stayed away from all that. He hasn't had any interest in that either way.
Well, yeah. Do you know that he hasn't any interest, or is it?
I haven't heard one rumor of him being cast in anything Marvel or DC once. Not once has his name come up as being anything. So
Mm,
you would have if they were looking at him doing anything in those two galaxies, he like that would have leaked and they would have been like, they're thinking of it's like they're thinking of Denzel for Green Lantern. It's like because there's a Black Green Lantern called John Stewart now. Denzel's a bit old to play him, but listen, if you want Denzel to be your Green Lantern, who's going to freaking argue with you just because he's a bit older now? It's like oh, we just made John Stewart a bit older. But I haven't heard any rumors at all. So
yeah. Oh, yeah. He does. He does. If he's not, well, it's a shame. Tony Scott used to be. Denzel used to be Tony Scott's guy.
yeah,
Um,
he's not
but
around anymore.
yeah, Denzel.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a shame. Tony Scott. Every time Ridley seemed to mess up, Tony seemed to make a decent movie
Tony's like,
worthwhile.
hey, let me make a really good movie that doesn't make a ton of money. Like, so it's like Man on Fire is a freaking great movie. So when you said how much it made, I was like, Man on Fire only made that much? It's like, it's a
Yeah.
freaking awesome movie. Like the amount of movies that now, it'd be interesting to find out how much they've made on Blu-ray since, like, or on DVD, because a lot of those movies that you mentioned that didn't make a lot of money have
Mm,
have had huge lives on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray.
mm-hmm.
So it's like they've had big fall. Training Day has had a huge following, like a lot. So it's box office is only go so far. Anyway, so
What was I saying? Tony Scott.
Tony Scott's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, he's kind of if he's not doing Tony Scott movies, he's kind of doing more serious fare. He's
Yeah,
kind of picky.
like Antoine or what's his name?
Anton Fuqua,
No, not Antoine Fuqua. His first film he directed.
Antoine Fisher.
Antoine Fisher, like he's in the movie, but he's not the star of the movie. He's like, he plays a secondary character. He directed the movie, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
so it's like he's done a fair amount of smaller roles or roles that like just in movies that he was like, I like this movie. It's like I don't care if it makes a ton of money, but he does quality work is the thing, right? But yeah, Chris Pratt has definitely had much more high
And it's just recently too. It's Guardians of the Galaxy worked, which surprised a lot of people. So he started getting all this.
Yeah. Imagine if Guardians had failed. It's like, nope, no, you'd never get Chris Pratt in this movie.
Well, he got lucky twice. Guardians people didn't expect, but Jurassic World really could have been a bomb. Really, should have been with the way it was playing up, like with all the stuff with the screenwriters. Like it was playing out to be a bomb before it was released, but that sealed it for him.
Between his charisma, good CGI, and a lot of nostalgia, that movie made a ton of money. It was like he was great in the movie. He was tons of fun, and then you have all the nostalgia that they kind of hit the nostalgia notes right for Jurassic World. That it got all the people that love Jurassic Park back on board, or most of them.
I loved it,
and it was a fun movie. It was like was it The Godfather? Hell no. And
I'm not saying
was
that.
Was it trying to be The Godfather? No. So you don't get to complain that it's not The Godfather because it was never trying to be The Godfather. It was trying to be a fun dinosaur movie.
It was the perfect sequel for Jurassic Park,
and it was a fun dinosaur movie. That's all. It was supposed to do these things. It did those things, and he just happened to work really well in it.
It had a little bit of essence of like classic Godzilla stuff too. It was like a classic monster movie for a while.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's I don't know. So the chat seems awfully busy.
Yeah, they're fucking on fire.
I was gonna say, hey, let's talk what the chat's talking about, but I'm like, then they're just going, and I'm like, okay, never mind.
I made the mistake of feeding into it a little bit. So let's.
Thanks for watching, guys. I apprate all the.
They're not really watching. They're kind of here to talk.
Thanks for turning the volume down and being like, I'm going to chat to people instead.
So let me bring this up. Oh,
crap.
Yeah, it's another 3 for Peter. So
what's coming out this weekend?
Hold on.
I have no clue what's coming out this week. I do, but I have
another thriller. So
off the top of my head, I can't think of anything.
It's Don't Breathe, Hands of Stone.
Oh yeah, Hands of Stone.
And Mechanic.
Yeah,
something or other.
The Resurrection Jason Statham movie, which I don't understand. Like, I think they're like, we need to make a Jason Statham movie. Well, that one was kind of forgettable. Well, screw it. We'll say it's the sequel.
I never heard of the first one.
I'd watch the first one. It's funny. The first one is actually a remake of a Charles Bronson movie.
Oh, all right. Well.
And so I watched the first one, not knowing it was a remake at the time, and it's pretty forgettable.
No.
Yep. Because I don't remember most about it. It's pretty forgettable.
Okay.
It has Ben Foster in it though. Ben Foster is a decent actor. But.
So the movies that are coming out this week. Oh, I told you. Don't Breathe, Hands of Stone, and Mechanic Resurrection.
Frick, I have no clue what this week is.
And there's no way Suicide Squad holds again, is there?
No,
because I officially don't even know anymore.
I can't. Okay, it made 40-something million its second weekend, so it did half of that this weekend. So if it does half of that, that's like we're looking at 11 million max. If those 3 movies, one of them can't make more than $11 million.
You're trying to put too much math into it. It's not exactly a science.
No, but come on. One of them estimate, like, it's a De Niro film. Frick. It's like, you're telling me a De Niro film's not going to make $11 million.
Right.
It's like, if a De Niro movie where he's the main, like, I understand he's not the main character, but he is like one of the main characters in the film.
Right.
if it's like that can't make over $11 million, that's just like let's just give up and stop watching movies because that's sad. And who's the director?
Oh, I don't have that for you. Come on.
Frick, I can't remember. It's said, I just can't remember it. But yeah, I don't know. It's supposed to be telling a story of a boxer that like a boxing rivalry that was massive. So you should have people interested that are in the boxing community, so they should want to see it. So I don't know.
All right,
But yeah, Suicide Squad can't hold.
I'm gonna say Don't Breathe.
Really?
Number one. I know you don't agree with me.
No, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. I'm like thinking, yeah, yeah.
It's weird.
I could totally see that because that actually looks like a good movie. Looks interesting. So
I am then going to say Suicide Squad. I am then going to say Hands of Stone.
Wow.
Then War Dogs. And then Sausage Party.
So you have Suicide Squad, or you said Suicide Squad number 4, right?
So Don't Breathe 1, Suicide Squad 2, Hands of Stone 3, War Dogs 4, Sausage Party 5.
Okay, leave that up there for 1 second.
I thought you spaced out for a second. Sorry.
No, I'm thinking. Sorry, people who aren't listening to us because they're too busy talking in the chat. Okay, I'll go. Just because I don't like the thought that it's not going to, and I'm going to be wrong, I'm going to put Hands of Stone at number 1 and hope that adults want to go see a movie this weekend. I'm thinking I'm wrong, but I'm going to do it anyways.
What's happening? Okay, Hands of Stone.
Hands of Stone. Oh, frick. Then what was the Don't Breathe? Then Suicide Squad. Sausage Party or War Dogs? I'm going to say Sausage Party, then War Dogs. What was the third one? What was the third one that was coming this week?
Mechanic.
Oh, frick. Yeah, okay. Okay, I got to take that back then.
You're taking what back?
I don't know. Hold on. You didn't put the Mechanic in the top 5, did you?
No. Listen, Ben-Hur didn't crack the top 5.
Yeah, but Ben-Hur is not a Jason Statham movie. Again, as lame as it is, Jason Statham should make more than $11 million its opening weekend because he's an action guy. There's nothing else actiony out right now other than Suicide Squad, which most people will have watched. All right, so I said
Hands of Stone 1, Don't Breathe 2, Suicide Squad 3, Sausage Party 4, War Dogs 5.
Okay, so I'm going to go number 4, Mechanic, and then 5, Sausage Party.
Okay.
War Dogs is gone.
4 is Mechanic.
Yeah.
5 is Sausage Party.
Yeah.
Okay. A fun little bonus thingy. Where is
Ben-Hur?
Ben-Hur this weekend?
Ben-Hur is out of the top 10.
Whoa. A number?
We'll make it 11.
Okay, I'm gonna say Ben-Hur will be 9.
9. So okay, so you're close, but yeah, I'm thinking it's dropping out completely.
I mean,
it's not like it's gotten it. I've only seen one review for it, and it wasn't overly positive.
Right.
So
Yeah, I'm not hearing the greatest of things, but something that kind of makes me, uh, you know, neither here nor there as far as how I feel about it is the fact that I haven't seen the original.
yeah,
So yeah, you could look at it two ways. I could watch the new one and then have it like spoil when I eventually do see the original,
yeah.
or I don't I don't know.
You know what? I'm willing to bet that even if you watch the remake, I think the remake will make you appreciate the original more.
I'm thinking that
That it's like I've watched remakes first, and then I've seen the originals several times, and
I've
like
done that before too.
and not knowingly. Well, like I watched a movie called Last Man Standing with Bruce Willis,
I have that.
and then found out years later when I watched A Fistful of Dollars that it's a remake of that, and I was like,
Well, wait,
geez,
aren't they both remakes of
yeah, and then
Yojimbo?
that's a remake of Jimbo. So it's well, no, it's they're clearly remaking Fistful of Dollars. Like, so it's like I don't think they're really like they're trying to get the essence of A Fistful of Dollars compared to Jimbo. Um, but the same
No,
story. They're all the same story. So it's like it's just. But yeah, I watched the three in reverse order, and so every time it was just like, wait a minute. It's like they ripped off this, and then it's like, wait a minute, they ripped off this. It's ripped off this. It's ripping off Jimbo, and yeah.
that's funny.
So
When we Luke and I were watching Seven Samurai, I was like, "Man, this really sounds a lot like Magnificent Seven." He's like, "Yeah, this is the movie that started it all." I'm like, "Oh,
yeah.
oh, okay."
Do you know now? Do you know you've watched Seven Samurai? Do you know the animated movie that ripped that off?
That ripped off Seven Samurai?
Yeah,
No.
A Bug's Life. Bug's Life is about a bunch of ants that are grasshoppers are coming to take their crops, and they send the one guy to the city to get warrior ants to protect the village. What they change around is the fact that they're circus ants, but he
Right.
thinks they're warrior ants. But it's pretty much the same. Like the warriors come and teach the villagers to protect themselves with a giant bird instead of fighting. And it's Seven Freaking Samurai in animated form with
That's
bugs.
crazy. I need to watch that again because
Yeah, watch it again. You'll be like, "Holy crap, Seven Samurai!" Right there.
that's crazy.
It's completely Seven Samurai in bug form from Pixar. They completely ripped off Seven Samurai, which it's fine. It's what they do. But yeah, Magnificent Seven ripped it off, and then Magnificent Seven is ripping off. So yeah, we just watched. Anyone thirsty? We just watched Seven Samurai last week with my daughters.
For those of you who don't know, Peter has daughters.
Yes, it took two nights to get through it because it is a very long movie.
Seven
And it has,
Samurai?
yeah, and it has an intermission, so it was just like, oh, it's like, oh, look at the time. Yeah, okay, now's a good time to we'll start it up again the next night.
See,
But yeah,
I would assume you want to talk about originals. I would assume Seven Samurai is a quicker watch. It feels the tempo feels faster than Ben Hur.
oh, it does, and it's
Okay.
much more entertaining than Ben Hur is. It's way more entertaining. It's better made. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, it's a much. If you're making me choose, like Seven Samurai kills Ben Hur
Okay.
all freaking long day, but it's still 3.5 hours long.
Well, that's the thing that just
So
keeps you know preventing me from diving into the 59 Ben Hur. Is just
yeah, it is long.
it's long, and I've heard it's not exactly. I mean, listen, I have this mental block with movies that were made before 72,
Yeah,
73, where like the pacing is just so slow. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it is. They did have very different pacing systems back then, where it's you know, and well, like ADD did not exist
yeah,
until TV commercials and TV shows started,
yeah, yeah. Oh,
making it faster, and
high energy.
it's like music videos and stuff came along and started just like, oh, okay, I got it. It's like, oh, what do you mean I can't? So, but yeah. Anyways, So, but yeah, so those are my choices. That's CP's choices. Let's see how we do in this crazy, crazy weekend because, like, we thought this weekend was crazy. I think this weekend coming up is going to be even worse.
Peter, I got 0 right. I think it was crazy enough for between the two of us. We had 2 right, and you needed a savior at the last minute to get the
Yeah.
second one right.
Okay. So
So
here's my question. You picked "Don't Breathe" to be number one. I picked
mhm.
"Hands of Stone." What does "Don't Breathe" make? What is the number one movie of the weekend make in its maximum? Because you're basically picking like
36.
really, you think it's gonna make that much?
It's people. I mean, I don't know. Like that's not even that much, but it, Friday night, Saturday nights, I could see it getting a lot of money because that whole thriller crowd thing, and it's a unique idea. It's basically the last 2 minutes of Silence of the Lambs
Yeah,
stretched out into a
stretched
movie.
out.
So,
Although it looks from the thing, right? The guy is keeping a girl locked up, right?
something like that. I
Like
think
from the trailer, it seemed to me like he's keeping a girl locked up, and they didn't know that. And when
I
they're
no, see. I think they go to rob the guy,
yeah,
and she like stalls him while the other guy robs him, but he finds out and keeps her hostage. So the other guy's got to try to
oh
get
really? I
her
thought
out.
from the look of what I saw, I thought when they got into the basement, they found out there was a girl tied up. So that he's like
Okay,
he's actually keeping a girl tied up, and like so, like there's another girl in the house. He's killed the one guy, and so
okay.
the girl and the guy, and they've realized this guy's freaking like this. Is just what I think. I might be completely wrong. I watched the trailer. I thought it looked interesting.
I would appreciate either.
Yeah,
It sounds good.
both of them could work. So, but it's just so okay. I'm gonna say Hands of Stone makes 25 million.
Man, summer's grinding down, man.
It's
25 for
yeah,
first place, huh?
25 for the top, man. Well, it made 20. What you said it was what 22 for
21.
21 for Suicide Squad. So if it makes 25, it should make the first place, assuming your thing doesn't come and kill it with 36. Um,
Yeah.
the only reason I'm not as thinking this is going to do as well as Lights Out did pretty well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Lights Out was based on a whole YouTube thing, right? So it's like it kind of had that momentum going into it, whereas in Don't Breathe doesn't have anything except the movie trailers to go on.
A
So,
little fun fact here. Don't Breathe has a meta score of 71 and
hmm,
Hands of Stone 53,
hmm.
which is, I mean, it really doesn't mean anything. Critics don't really
Yeah,
dictate much of anything. But see, I'm trying to get the dates here. Um, September 2nd, Light Between Oceans and Morgan.
yeah. You know, Light Between Oceans,
No.
Michael Fassbender movie about a lighthouse keeper that him and his wife find a baby. She has a miscarriage, and then like they find a baby in a boat, and then they adopt it like without
Oh.
telling anyone. They just say it's theirs, and then like 6 years down the line, someone's like, oh, my baby was in a boat with with my the husband, and the husband died, and the baby must have died too. And they're like, oh yeah, it's got what's her name, girl from Ex Machina,
Oh.
Alicia Vikander, is that it?
Mhm, mhm.
And Rachel Weisz and Michael Fassbender. So it looks like a good movie. It's a drama.
Mhm.
Michael Fassbender's rocking a mustache. So
Uh, yeah, and then September 9th is Sully.
yeah, you know that one, huh?
You know Sully?
Yeah, Sully's the Clint Eastwood movie about the guy who crashed
He
the
landed
plane
in the Hudson River.
in Hudson River. Looks good. Tom Hanks is the main character.
Hmm. The 16th, Blair Witch, the remake for Blair Witch. Bridget Jones' Baby,
Yeah,
Snowden,
yeah.
which looks appealing to me. And then
Snowden looks good, but I
I
don't think it's
know,
going to make much at the box office.
I
I,
know.
I hope it's Oliver Stone. It's Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who I think is supremely talented,
Right.
but I still don't think it's going to do much at the box office.
And then we finally get Magnificent
Makes it
Seven
soon. Yeah, so
coming
I don't get.
here.
I'm not going to be seeing a movie in the theaters until then because I
I
just
was just gonna say
don't.
it's there's I mean other than Sully I really am really intrigued in, and
Yeah,
Snowden
and
I'm really
Snowden.
intrigued in, but they're kind of it's not strong. And then
No.
Deepwater Horizon is the week after
Yeah.
the 30th of September.
Yeah.
Birth of the Nation is October 7th. Ooh. Girl on the Train comes out October 7th too, but there hasn't been much of anything for that. Kind
Not
of makes
much
me
hype
nervous.
comparatively. To me, all like I don't know why, but all I just keep on seeing is Gone Girl, and
Right.
like I get a very Gone Girl vibe from it. And CP has watched Gone Girl like 50,000 times. I've watched Gone Girl once, and
It's my
literally
dream story.
it's one of those things where I don't need to see it again as far
Mm.
as I'm concerned.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought it
there's
was a
tons of movies like that. Yeah.
really well made movie that I never want to watch again. So um, yeah, so I don't know. It the next month is not going to be very big in the box office. It's
Yeah.
there's very little, like there's some Oscar bait stuff, but there's very
Not for a
little.
while.
Yeah, well, I could see Clint Eastwood with Sully with Tom Hanks getting some Oscar stuff,
Yeah.
and
What
like
we're about to hit is summer's version of January
yeah,
for movie making.
exactly. That week, those weeks before or after summer box office and blockbusters
Yeah.
have come away, and before the big Oscar season hits. That's what September is, and so it's like things that come in September are either weak or they're trying for Oscar buzz, but they know they're not going to be as good as the other movies, so they're going and they're hoping that they got nothing to go against.
It feels like, well, I mean, it doesn't feel like it appears to be happening a little early, like
Yeah,
21 million last weekend. I don't think anything we've got this week is going to be that strong, even if I'm right. And even if it
yeah.
doesn't matter which movie it is, 35 million isn't that strong.
No, it's not like saying, "Oh, the number one movie made 35 million." What? It's like that's a big deal. 35 million for, like, again, to me, give me 35 million. I'm set for life. That's a
Yeah.
huge deal. But for a movie that has a budget of 40 million and an advertising budget of say 8 million or 5 million
Right.
to make 35 million its opening weekend, it, it's a business. You're trying to make money, and
Show
like
business.
you're hoping that your movie makes tons of money. And so it's like having a movie with like paying Robert De Niro and all that kind of stuff, and like I don't know, it's one of those things. This next little while is just it. Like there's to be some good movies that come out that are not going to make that much money at the box office. That people are like, because again, movies like Sully and Snowden, and people are going to look at them and goes, "That looks really good. I'll watch that when it comes out on DVD.
Yeah.
I'll watch that when it comes out on Netflix.
Well, that's
That
kind
looks
of the
like a
case
good movie."
for Oscar movies. They're ooh,
Yeah,
let's rent that when it comes out.
let's rent that. The Spotlight. Oh, that sounds good. I'll rent that when
Yeah.
it comes out. I'll
Uh-huh.
see that. And I did. I waited to get it from the library, and it's another movie that I never need to see again.
Yeah.
It really well made, great performances. Never need to see it again. So I don't know. Yeah. So
Well, I'm crossing my legs. So dry spell for business as far as movies are concerned. Peter, you have anything else to add for?
no, no. Yeah, our show business talk maybe like 10 minutes in the next couple of weeks each.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so that sucked.
We're gonna have to. We're gonna. I mean, that was a fun little thing that I found with Denzel. We're gonna have to. We might
Yeah.
throw that in next time. We might have like a little comparison. That might be a new thing. A little segment where we talk about actors in the upcoming movies, even though there's not much. Yeah, we could do Statham next week. We'll do Statham,
Yeah.
and when we talk about it, what a failure Mechanic was.
Yeah.
All right. So for Peter, I'm CP. We'll see you in about a week.